I always wanted to be a pilot when I grew up. Someone who reaches new height, navigates through turbulences and stay focused on the destination. But life has a strange way to throw turbulences in our way. Imagine flying at 40,000 feet, you hit a storm you never saw coming. No manual, no warning, nothing. Just you and the challenges ahead. I faced these turbulences, but not in the sky, in my own body. Good morning everyone. Good morning Savita, to introduce for a nice introduction. I am Taher. I come from a small town, Malda, in the sweetest part of India, West Bengal, where in 90s kid, I mean a middle class 90s kid, education was the only way to success. And at that time we have two runways, medical or engineering. At the early age of life, I learned that successful dreams should be practical. As my journey took a surprising turn, I also learned that along with practicality, you have to be resilient too. However, over the years, I discovered that thriving in life, despite challenges, boils down three fundamental principles. I called them 3R of navigating those challenges. I was in grade 11. It was the holy month of Ramadan. Although I was not new to fasting, but at that time it was something different. All I want was to eating. So as some other symptoms was also there, I discussed it with a local physician. And luckily, after some basic investigations, I was diagnosed, unheard term at that time, type 1 diabetes. Along with my mother, here my mom is, along with my mother, we went to senior consultant of that town, and I overheard the communication between the doctor and my mother regarding my future and my lifespan. I clearly recall those terms till days. The doctor was advising my mom to keep under strict routine and a close observation. I was in a small town. At that time, I was not ready to hear all those, restriction at the age of 15. I broke down. Hoping things would change. Along with my mother, roam around the local healers, those babas, sadhus, maulabis. Nothing happened. Situation worsened. I put on insulin, multiple daily doses. My student life, definitely along with others also, lot of challenges. Hostel life, I move out to home, irregular food, exam stress were few of them. The biggest challenge I had to face is fighting against social stigma attached with it. I had often faced prejudice and the negative judgment of the people based on some misinformation about the disease. There were questions raised about my basic instinct. Number one, whether I can earn, I can have a career, I can have this food, that food. And number two, my reproduction capability. Whether I can have a girlfriend, I can marry, I can have kid. Forget about thriving. My living is questionable at that time. All this starts affecting my mental health as well as confidence. Imagine a boy who topped in the school are now hiding from the people. I was desperate to come out of the situation. Although I am mostly surrounded by the friends and relatives who believe in stigma and all this misinformation attached with it. But there were somebody who really want to help me and care about me. These people, they help me to develop a coping mechanism to fight against people. These are some of those people who really care for me. These are the people who consider me as the normal human being, not the conditioned one. I selectively choose these friends when I started staying in the hostel in my medical college, that is NRS hostel. That is one of the eminent college of that Kolkata. Those who are from that college can correlate my room at ground block, room number 56. That was my war room at that time. And beyond the support system, one gentleman was there who watched me silently. Professor Salil Pal, he was also endocrinologist at that time, working in the medicine department as a professor. He never wrote me a prescription. His wisdom was beyond that prescription. He guided me slowly that I never lost my way. This is the time when I learned the first principle of thriving in life: reach out and find your own people. I quote the jazz term here, find your own tribe more specifically. When we are facing challenges, facing it alone is not the answer. We have to find a support system, what we did at that time. And with that support system, I completed my MBBS with flying colors. Now my question to you: have you ever reached out to anybody for help when you reach the lowest point in your life? If not, think about it. It's mandatory. While I crossed the first milestone of my medical journey, I came across another reality of life. I started my internship, my first rotational posting on general surgery department. So one such admission day, generally admission day is 24-hour shift. One such night I had a convulsion, probably hypoglycemic. I had to admit in the hospital, and after that episode, the authority never allotted me a single night shift duty in entire internship journey. That was the best thing that can happen for an intern who is working in a busy government hospital. I was also happy at that time. But this best thing put a limitation at my growth. Whether I spoke with my mother, with my father, with my parents, or spoke with any senior teachers or professors in my institute, all the advice I do receive at that time at the space, you have a limitation. I reached a stage where I believe them, but I feel suffocated. The consideration I was receiving mostly disempowering me. I do realize everyone is best at their heart. They all are caring for me. But all this I felt is restricted in life. I had to keep myself distracted from my home. I want to find my own system there outside my home. Now when my teachers, after completing internship, my teachers suggest me to take a government job, take a suburban posting and enjoy a cool life, I opt out. I joined in ICU in a city, in a big corporate hospitals. When I complete my post-graduation, again my well-wisher suggests me to join medical education service. I mean teaching job in medical college. That is very relatively cooler life. Again, I opt out, join pharma medical affairs and move across the country and the world. But all these were keep on hiding my identity there. When COVID hits, in spite of risk and uncertainty, I joined back again in the ICU. I wanted to be the front line in the crisis. And why I did all these things? All these things are just to push my boundary that I was so used to by that time. In this high pressure environment, I do balance, although very limited tools were available at that time. I do manage my calorie, I do manage my mobility, I do manage my insulin timing. I never forgot my insulin in my 2.5 decade journey. I never give excuse of my insulin deficiency in entire my working life. I wanted to do everything a normal person can do and did not my condition deter me. When sometimes working in ICU, there was a time when we have to skip my lunch, but I do consume that 25 dextrose, 50 dextrose or 5D bottle, saline bottle, easily available in ICU or OT. I do consume and maintain my potential hypoglycemic situations. And slowly I was transforming in a way that all these limitations were faded from my way. With this focus, I completed multiple roles while working in pharma sector, including the last one while I was working as a country immuno-oncology lead while working in Ross. The frequent travel, I had to travel frequently in my 6 years long pharma working life, where when hopping through the multiple airport, I do grab some sugar pouches available in the food counter just before boarding. Although I was carrying my diabetic kit along with me, but that was my more normal way to prevent potential hypoglycemic episode. And despite all the doubt, I do marry my 10-year-long girlfriend Rubina, who was also a part of that support system what I built in my graduation days. With the help of that baby, I produced 2 more babies. So now I have 3 babies. Why I call them babies? All these 3 depend on me. Mostly emotionally, not financially, because she is also a software developer. But how it is. And she is also never give me a tag of any limitation. She never, on the dining table, never called me to take insulin or never restrict me to have any food till date. So, finally, this is the time when I proved wrong to those people who ask questions about my basic instinct. We have 2 basic instincts, right? I proved them wrong by that time. Over the years, I achieved all those materialistic KPI, key performance indicator, that society wants to be successful, right? This one society, I had to hide my type 1 episode to my in-laws at that time, because if they know, they cannot allow me to marry with her, because they have a question whether I can fulfill this materialistic KPI or not. By that time, I fulfilled. I'm not even 40 now. But when it is done, I wanted to do more. But this time my society is not going to decide the limitation about me. Now, it was Mahatma Gandhi. We are at the land of Mahatma Gandhi. Once he told, be the change you wish to see in the world. Now, embracing the role of entrepreneurship by building Rehai was my way of embracing those changes. When Indian economy is booming, I also want to contribute to the growth of the Indian economy in a healthcare ecosystem, whether we can serve patients little better. This is the time when I learned my second principle of thriving in life, responsibility. Whatever the situation you are going through today, you have to take responsibility of your own. Instead of the blaming fate, fortune, or the people surround you, start explore your potential to achieve, to overcome or manage those situations. Excuses are many, but we need only one reason to achieve our potential. By creating a support system, taking responsibility of our own, we start working on our mindset, which was solution oriented. Rehai was the outcome of that solution oriented mindset. Over the past 14 years, I have seen healthcare from the different side of the table, sometime in a pharma, in a clinic, or in an administrator. I understand that there was a need. To streamline the unorganized in-hospital experience for a small and medium segment hospitals. And that's why I shifted to my hometown and started building a hospital as a pilot project of Rehai, just to understand the ground reality, understand the ground challenges. Whether it was multiple attempt to crack the exam or to find an investor to build these hospitals or to make a decision to resolve the challenges of healthcare ecosystem, the only thing that keep me sustained is the third and final principle of thriving in life, resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from the difficulty. Every hypoglycemic situation, every missed flight, every failed CPR, every corporate grill trained me to adapt those situations without panic. Thriving in a high pressure environment was not about my condition, it was about the choices that I made. And what gave me strength to fly at 40,000 feet is nothing, just these three simple principles. Just reach out for support, take responsibility of your own, and be resilient. The truth is, we all, whatever type 1 or whatever, we all have to face challenges at certain point of time. In spite of those challenges, put a limitation in our growth, we have to be those three. Reach out, find our own people, we have to take our own responsibility and staying resilient. If I had given to all my conditions, I would probably not be here sharing my story after injecting over 25 years. Even for my future turbulence, that will be even more. These three will be my single guiding force. And I am sure we can overcome on our challenges by adopting a mindset that break those limitations and help us to thrive in life. So that's all till now, and